managing this injury, I've never really had a big injury like this before, and because of COVID and lots of many different things, I wasn't able to have surgery until about 7 weeks ago. So I'm still on one crutch, can't fully straighten my leg, and I've been, dancing at home during April to July or so, and I had my final class the night before I went in for my surgery. And during that entire process, not only have we sort of like quarantined the space of dance, but I've also been sort of like quarantining the use of my body.
We can't host concerts in person, so we're having watch parties. People are coming, and people like watching dance online, I'm finding. We've launched this YouTube series. People really like it. They're commenting, they're watching, they're subscribing. People are watching clips of old stuff, throwback photos, throwback videos that we're posting. People want to be engaged.
Like, I don't have, a garden, I don't have a rooftop, I just have my living room, and I push the lamp and push the table, and that's it. So I've been using levels and rotation and the planes, and really just trying to think about how to incorporate all of the things I love about modern dance, musicality and suspension and being off balance, and how to do that without taking up a lot of space. The second half of this piece, Loops, is actually all class material that we have been doing on our Thursday community classes each week. And so I've been Zooming from my living room and inviting people to come in. And so the task for myself, living in a tiny New York City apartment, was how can I make full-bodied, expressive modern dance that takes place in a 5 foot by 5 foot square. Doing this, and for it to feel like this big grand ensemble piece, but they barely move. They're very active and physical, and there's a lot of three-dimensional rotation and all of that, but they don't actually have a big footprint of use. And so that's been really interesting for me to think about in terms of like what you can actually create when you don't have much.
And, we can't have rehearsals in person, so we're doing it on Zoom. We can't host open classes in person, so we're doing it on Zoom, and people come and people like it. We can't have after parties at a bar as part of our share events, which are some of my most favorites, So we're hosting these yappy hours, and we're having conversations with dance educators and collaborators, and, and people are coming. And what's kind of amazing to me is that at a time when everyone is feeling so physically isolated, people are like locked up in their apartments, and masks are separating us, and people are completely isolated. I actually feel closer to people now than I have in a long time.
In dance, we often talk about limitations are actually like freedom for artists, because sometimes when you can sort of, lay out, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, and I have this time frame, or I have these limitations, or what people might think is confinement, is actually super freeing. And it allowed me to create this piece with technology. Anybody who knows me knows I'm like a total laggard. I'm like the last person to like probably get the internet, like Wi-Fi in my apartment. I'm like the last person to do all of those things. And this has just been such a cool opportunity for me to actually, by necessity, to have to use technology and to have to work with it. But also, like, this piece is made reflecting the sort of the downfalls of technology. Like, it's glitchy. There are times where someone cuts out, and so we built the dance and this sort of installation around all of those things.
And I think that's what it means to be an artist, is to not die in your way, right? To constantly evolve and to constantly grow. And maybe if you're not finding new motivation, maybe you need external forces to force that departure, And I think that's what I'm going through right now, is a complete forced departure of everything I knew and everything that was comfortable and everything that was safe. And it's scary, but ultimately I think it's going to make me a more interesting artist and a more interesting human being, and that feels safe to me. Like, even though it's scary, and even though there's all of this unknown, the dark waters that I'm trusting, and I know that it's going to make it better, that there will be light, that there will be, you know, something on the other side that's going to make it worth the journey.
You know, last year when we did our gala here, open air, and we had all of these cities that we traveled to and worked with Mother Nature, and everything was out of my control. Now I feel like we're outdoors, stuff is out of my control, and now I'm using technology, which is just like, you know, you throw all caution to the wind. And so today we're going to be encouraging people to open up their cell phones and to log into the Zoom that the dancers are going to be dancing and collaborating with, and it's going to be projected on a screen behind them. And, you know, we're just looking to bring sort of this interactive technological perspective into nature and see what that feels like and what that looks like. And after seeing this kind of like first look, it's pretty awesome, I have to say. I'm pretty pleased.